he's on his best behavior. But Seth Curry's one of those guys that nobody talks about. But when I watch Portland, what did I say all year in the playoffs? They got a bunch of dudes that can get buckets. And Curry was one of those guys that could get buckets. And Aminu could get a bucket, and they're both gone. So there you go. Up, down, and even. Tremendous production values here at the Herd. It was some of the best work we've ever done. We're very clever here. We spend hours on this stuff. Jason Whitlock said something yesterday. Now, he doesn't love LeBron James getting Kawhi Leonard. Here's what Whitlock said yesterday. He thinks it's bad news for LeBron James and his legacy. Remember, there's a lot of questions about LeBron. Here it is.
I just don't know if this will be a good look for LeBron James. If he adds Kawhi to himself and Anthony Davis, I think that cheapens his legacy to some degree. I know some people will celebrate what a great recruiter and he restored the Lakers, but I'm not sure if this is the best thing for LeBron's legacy, landing Kawhi Leonard.
I disagree on that. First of all, Michael Jordan couldn't win with a second team. LeBron would win a title with a third. I think we'd forget about that. The other thing is, what is Magic Johnson's sort of legacy? Greatest Laker, greatest teammate. And Michael Jordan, greatest player, killer. And Shaq, dominating physically and all sorts of laughs and fun, big personality. You can't, those are impenetrable legacies. A video could come out, Shaq being a jerk tomorrow. He's still Shaq. We'd give him a pass. Michael Jordan quit twice, punched a teammate, petty Hall of Fame speech. Still the GOAT. We still love him. We still buy his shoes. LeBron's legacy is impenetrable. And his brand is mobility. What does he do with his TV shows and movies? Brings stars to sit in a room together. What does he do with basketball? He brings stars to Miami and Cleveland and Los Angeles together. This is his brand. His brand is not an ISO act. It's not Jimmy Butler. I want to be the man. That's not his brand. LeBron's versatility and mobility. And so I actually think this plays right into his brand. And I also think when you're as big, I mean, think about Tiger Woods, how popular he was, and now how unpopular he was. And then we all sat on the couch and cried as he won the Masters. We generally look back at greatness with great fondness, and we just forget what a pain in the butt you were. Brett Favre walks into any room in America. Everybody loves Brett Favre. But, man, he threw a lot of bad picks in big games, a lot of them. And you screamed at him and you yelled at him, but now you see him do those Ford commercials and those Gene commercials. You just love you some Brett Favre. That's just the way it is. And I think LeBron's legacy is cemented and impenetrable, and I really think this plays to his brand. Let's get a bunch of stars to be in my movie, to be on my TV show, to be on my team. This plays right into that, not out of it.
Well, he played with 3 Hall of Famers in Miami, and Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and then he had Ray Allen. He played with 2 great players in Cleveland, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. This is not only his brand, this is also the league now. Yeah. The only reason why people don't want Kawhi to go to the Lakers is not because it's going to cheapen LeBron getting another ring, because this is already who LeBron is. It's just going to be a continuation of what we've been dealing with for the past couple years in the Lakers. I mean, in the Warriors. Yeah. And people don't want to see that anymore. Yeah. At least they think they don't.
Yeah, Howard Beck, Jim Jackson, Rick Bucher all stopping by today. That is coming up next. Becoming a successful business owner. Listen, it's not impossible if you make sure you concentrate on what you're great at. Most of the league today, my buddies around the country, loved free agency. Everybody feels energized. I don't think it ruins the NBA.
No, I don't. Well, I don't think it ruins the NBA. Does it make it hard to identify who's where? Yeah.
Free agency.
There was a stat I saw the other day where I think, what is it, only 4 players or 8 players remain on their same team that were all-stars going back just 2 years ago. Like, there's been that much movement of the elite players, and that's the distinct difference between the NFL and the NBA.
Right.
Is this mass player movement? But for Kawhi Leonard, if he stays in Toronto, I don't think that changes the league for the better. Like, the NBA needs something in New York. They got Brooklyn. It's not really a drawing card, but it'll do. Boston's still very much alive. I'm sure, like to get Chicago going. But Philly is legit, and they'll be real. And so you have some stars in the East. And now that New York is very much alive and well with Brooklyn, it doesn't change the NBA for the better or the worse in terms of the ratings if he goes to Toronto. It doesn't help because it's north of the border. the Clippers, it would provide, I think, more competitive balance, and that's probably the best fit for him. I mean, like, one thing not being pointed out was, I'm not sure how it all fits together with the Lakers. Like, I think it's cool. Like, we'll have 3 of the top 5 players in the NBA.
See, this is my thing. I don't think it's as easy as people think. Doug, if you get that, you will have, without question, even if Iggy came, one of the worst benches in the league and a bad fifth starter, you're one injury away.
Well, not necessarily. You still have the mid-level exception.
Who's going to get that?
Well, I guess we'll just have to kind of find out what they can do creatively. I mean, look, you'll have 3 of the 5 best players in the league.
I'm not
Kawhi
doubting
Leonard
that.
is the best player in the NBA. People are gonna have to, even you're gonna have to kind of swallow hard and go like, yeah, he was the best player, especially with KD out with injury, and LeBron wasn't what he had been going back to last year. LeBron's still in that discussion. Anthony Davis, by everybody's estimation, still, and they both can play both ends of the floor. Maybe LeBron's the worst defender of the 3. So that's incredible. And then Kyle Kuzma fits perfectly with LeBron. So I guess LeBron becomes the point guard.
Yeah.
And then J.R. Smith gets bought out. Andre Iguodala shows up. Like, that's a pretty, and they get a mid-level exception guy. Like, that's a pretty good 7 or 8. But I don't know, like, Kawhi still needs the ball to be Kawhi. Anthony Davis, is he going to stand in the corner and be a stretch 5?
I don't know what his role is.
I don't either. Like, I get that he's geeked about being in L.A. and he'll be in Space Jam and that'll be cool. But I'm not sure he should really want Kawhi, other than they're going to win a lot of games. And generally in the NBA, when you have the best players, you have a tendency to go far. But fit is interesting. I think Kawhi actually fits better with the Clippers, even though it's still the Clippers. And now you're drawn in by the drawing card, which is the Lakers. And look, they said we get Anthony Davis. They got Anthony Davis. We got LeBron James. And now it's your turn to kind of join that threesome. It's going to be fascinating the next 24, 48 hours.
Okay, D'Angelo Russell to the Warriors we have to talk about. I think there's a team being totally overlooked in the NBA. Doug Gottlieb, stick around. We'll bring him back after this. Before you travel this summer, you need to get some luggage from away travel. Aluminum carry-on. Joy has one. I have one. Sensational. Every suitcase, by the way, perfect size carry-on. Fits in the overhead. 4 spinner wheels. Quiet through the airport. Carry-ons. Hidden removable laundry bag. Separates dirty from clean luggage. Also a TSA-approved lock to keep your belongings safe. Go to awaytravel.com/Colin. $20 off when you enter the promo code Colin at checkout. By the way, there's a TSA